HMD Global is filling market with new Nokias at an incredible pace. This year only, we saw 4 phones: Nokia 1, Nokia 6.1, Nokia 7 Plus, and Nokia 80 Co. And today I'll take a closer look at Nokia 7 Plus. Let's focus on Nokia 7 Plus build and looks. To be honest, I believe that this phone is one of the best looking mid-rangers. The first thing that caught my eye are those chamfered edges which are copper colored. There are also copper accents around the fingerprint reader and cameras. Unfortunately, Nokia 7 Plus camera bump is quite pronounced, so unlocking with double tap will rock your Nokia on a flat surface. HMD Global says that 7 Plus is made of one block of aluminium. At first, I wasn't so sure about that aluminium. Why? Cause back is covered with ceramic layer and you don't get to feel the metal. Thanks to it, the phone isn't such a fingerprint magnet, looks great and is delightful in touch. I believe that more manufacturers should go that way. Nokia 7 Plus front looks quite similar to Pixel 2 XL. Because this phone also sports 6-inch display with 18:9 aspect ratio and rounded corners. Also, Nokia's body size is almost identical to Pixel's, so you should keep in mind that the smartphone is quite hefty. In contrast to Pixel 2 XL, we won't find front-facing speakers on Nokia. We've got only one bottom-firing speaker. It managed to get loud enough, however its sound quality isn't something that you should buy this phone for. We've drifted away from the screen, so let's get back to it. This is IPS LCD with HD plus resolution. Because it's not OLED, we're not getting always on display. Well, it didn't stop LG from incorporating one, but well, that's not the case here. Nokia supports something what they call the glance feature, which will give you the latest notification icons after lifting the phone up. But there's no way of checking if there's something waiting for your attention from across the room. Why? Because there's no notification LED. Back to the screen. Both screen brightness and sharpness are great as for mid-range segment. The same could be said about viewing angles, however Nokia 7 Plus colors are a bit oversaturated. Yes, it makes colors pop, but also green seems to glow. Unfortunately, there's no way to change it in settings. The display glass is gently curved and made of Gorilla Glass 3. Not the newest one, but it gets the job done. Under Nokia 7 Plus hood we have Snapdragon 660 coupled with 4 GB of RAM, and it is enough even for more demanding tasks throughout the daily use. I almost never experience lags, hiccups or visible frame drops. This phone flies. I even tried PUBG on high, even though mobile gaming isn't my cup of tea, and it played smoothly. However, I experienced lags in 2 situations. One, when moving on main screen to Google Feed, and second, during app switching. It lagged, lost frames, sometimes didn't respond at all, but I believe that they can be fixed with an update. There's one main reason, except for great hardware, why Nokia 7 Plus experience is so fluid. This phone is part of Android One initiative. Therefore, Android experience here is as close to stock as possible. There's no bloatware that would fill up space, eat up battery or make phones sluggish as hell. On top of it, with Android One phone you can expect updates for at least 2 years. During my test time, Nokia was powered by Android 8.1 with latest security patches, something not very common except for Google devices. There's actually one application added by HMD and it's the camera app. It's really simple and straightforward, all important functions are there, however I believe there's room for improvement. Big shoutout to HMD for finally bringing Pro mode from old Lumias. In this mode we can change such parameters as white balance, ISO, shutter speed with simple and easy to understand dials. That way we can almost feel like a professional photographer. Why almost? Because there's no way to save RAW files. Camera app needs a camera to work with. Back shooter of Nokia 7 Plus is dual camera setup, main sensor is 12 megapixels, secondary sports telephoto lens and have 13 megapixels. Unfortunately none of them have OIS. What about the photos taken with this phone? Well, I was pleasantly surprised with their quality. Daylight shots are great with main and telephoto lens. Photos are crisp with good amount of detail, however colors are a bit oversaturated. I was even more surprised by photos in low light which this mid-ranger takes. Okay, it's not Galaxy S9, Pixel 2 XL or Huawei P20 Pro level, but still pretty nice. Unfortunately, you got to remember about the lack of OIS, so keep your phone steady. Dual camera setup allows for fake bokeh effect, which works inconsistently. Sometimes border detection is on spot and photo looks natural, and other times blur isn't applied correctly. Those better photos, even with little artifacts, are enough for social media. Videos recorded in 1080p has EIS reapplied, and its results are generally acceptable. However, in 4K there's no stabilization, so expect shaky videos. Nokia uses free mix to record videos with Ozo sound, and it sounds really good. Front shooter is acceptable with its 16 megapixel sensor and fixed focus. However, with selfie shooter, colors are even more saturated than with back camera. For selfie shots we can also use fake bokeh, and it can produce some fair shots. HMD equipped Nokia 7 Plus with quite hefty battery of 3800 mAh, and it's enough juice to keep phone alive even for 2 days. During my tests I managed to squeeze over 5 hours of SOT from this thing with little over 24 hours without charging. I prefer to keep every setting and toggle on, so for me this is awesome battery life. But if you're more reasonable with your battery life, then I believe that you will squeeze even more SOD from this phone. If you're worried about charging time, worry no more. HMD's phone supports fast charging, and in half an hour you'd get almost 50% of full charge. Now 30 seconds for things worth noting about this phone. There's no waterproofing on this thing, the vibration motor is kinda strange. We've got headphone jack, Bluetooth 5.0, NFC and hybrid dual SIM slot, which will help you expand the storage of 64 gigs on this phone. Such essentials as GPS and phone calls work flawlessly, and if you're worried about scratching your device, the case comes in a box. Nokia 7 Plus is a decent mid-ranger with main advantages of its build quality and, for its price, the camera. However, competition is quite strong. Here in Poland for its price or even less you can get such phones as LG G6 or Nokia 8, both last year's flagships. All in all, Nokia 7 Plus is worth taking a look if you're in the market for a new phone. What do you think about this phone? Would you buy it? Let me know in comments. And if you're already there, why not subscribe and leave a like? Thank you, bye!